Hey, David. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. Okay, so what I am going to do, if you come in as you come in the classroom, please say hi. First of all, remember these. Hey, Dimitri. As I was looking through my drawer for some magnets this morning for one of the other classes, I was like, oh, I remember these. I remember taking these away from students because they were so distracting. Still love them. I still think they're cool. Little fidget spinner. All right. Everybody's going, yeah, I demolished mine. Oh, I lost mine. Or mine's in my drawer. All right, so we're going to talk about the paperwork side of things. I got my other computer set up here, so I'm actually spending some time looking back and forth at what people have sent me or what people have shared with me. Ultimately, what you guys were supposed to do, where is it? Scientific. There's a document called Scientific Method Master Sheet. Now, some people have said that they cannot type in it, and yet I've had other people turn it in blank. So that may actually be the case. I may have to go and redo the whole thing because I haven't got anything from any 6th or 7th graders as far as this goes that's been written on, and so honestly I'm kind of frustrated about that. And I know like Dimitri, I've seen your video of your experiment, which is really cool. So there is progress being out there made on your experiments, and that's cool. But we need that's only a portion of your grade. We need all the stuff that goes along with it. The guide to doing this was posted on April 30th. That's 15 days ago. It's under the title Project Timeline for Scientific Method. And there's a PDF called the Student Fair Science Guide. It's 5 pages. Okay. So you need to look for the Student Fair, Science Fair, Student Guide, and it is a PDF that is under project timeline. It's assigned under project timeline. Timeline for scientific method, April 30th. Okay. Well, let me fix my spelling here. Science. PDF, I know probably should be capitalized. PDF. All right. There you go. All right. So I sent that to you. I put that in the chat. Science Fair Guide. It's a PDF assigned under project timeline for scientific method, April 30th. There is nothing to turn in there. That's just a guide. Okay. And page 2 is the key to the whole thing. Okay. Page 4 and 5 tell you how to do page 2. It's got paragraphs for each one with explanations. Okay. Your scientific method master sheet is the last thing that I assigned to you. It was assigned on May 7th. Okay. This is in Google Classroom. And that is your document that you should be able to type on. Okay. For example, I have somebody's document in front of me. Click. No, that's not what I was. So I've actually written on somebody's document, which means I can, but can you guys? And so I need to know if there's a problem with that, and I need to reassign it because I haven't gotten any back. I don't know if people just aren't doing it. And so let's go. We need to go back through this because of this. Let me go back through. What did I do with it? Here it is. All right, and so this 5-page thing, page 2 is called Project Timeline. Okay, this is where we're supposed to actually use this as our guide and write it on our scientific method master sheet. So the way we would do it is the first one says select a research question and purpose. Okay, so your question is going to be what will happen when I put an egg in various liquids, or what is the appropriate amount of yeast to use when making bread, or how will using different temperatures of water affect me making cinnamon rolls, or what is the best thing to get a stain out of a shirt that I can use? So those are your some of the questions that we've gotten, some of the type of things that we're looking. And so literally that question, that part of the assignment is going to be one or 2 sentences. That's it. All right. That's all you need to do for that. Anybody can write a sentence. That shouldn't be a problem. Background information. What do we know? What do we know about eggs? Do we need to look it up? And so what will we put in there? Eggshells are mostly calcium. Okay. What do we know about yeast? Yeast is a living organism. You're putting your little tidbit of information in there. At least 1, 2, 3 sentences. Doesn't need to be complicated. Keep it simple, okay? Writing a hypothesis. Your hypothesis is 1 to 2 sentences. 1 to 2 sentences. So far, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 2. I may have only written 3 to 5 sentences. Okay, that's it so far. All right, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. You need the materials list, right? If you're making cinnamon rolls, you need yeast, you need flour, you need cinnamon, you need a pan, you need water, maybe an egg. What are all those ingredients that you need? Okay, that's your materials list. You need an oven to cook them in. Do you need gloves? Do you need a goggle? Do you need a bowl? Yeah. Do I need to be able to stir? Yes. So I need some sort of a whisk or either a hand whisk or electron or power whisk. So that's your materials list. Depending on what you're doing, do I need cups to put something in? Yeah. If you're putting something in a solution, you need some sort of a cup. You guys don't have these lying around, but you can use a cup as long as it's something that's not going to eat a hole in the cup. You can use an old teacup, old coffee mug, anything like that. That's it. So your materials list might be 4 to 8 things just listed. You don't need to write sentences, just a list. It's a list. Just write them out. So far, you guys haven't done anything hard, at least in my mind. Here's the hard part, writing the procedures. We've talked about it over a couple times. And so writing those procedures really is this. What do I do first? Okay. Put even amounts of liquid A, liquid B, and liquid C in different cups. Okay. How much? 200 milliliters. Are you measuring? This is where you get really specific. Mr. Bosnight posted that peanut butter and jelly video for you guys to watch. And yeah, it's funny, but it's also a guide to say, hey, you really need to be specific. This procedures is probably the hardest part of this whole thing. I don't know how you guys are doing because I haven't seen anything from anybody. Understand this. Conducting the experiment is only part of your grade and only part of the experience of doing a scientific method experiment. And so you can get an A on that part, okay? And that's like, hey, great, okay, you need to fill in the blanks. I will say this is a work in progress. It's a Google Doc. It's something that I should be able to work with you on and look at as you're working on it. If I look at it and there's a mistake, I'm going to write something in the comments. Fix that. We need to fix that, blah, blah, blah. It's just not right. We'll go back to the drawing board on that one. Or don't forget that you're going to need this. All right. So if you have an opportunity to go back and fix things that you didn't do right, that means if you put any amount of effort in, it's going to be an A. I mean, I'm not trying to. This isn't even really about getting a grade or a good grade or a bad grade. Do what you got to do. If you make a mistake, I will guide you. You can fix it. Boom. So everybody does it. Everybody should come out with a great grade on this. You do the experiment. You are taking a picture of the results. You are measuring how high your bread rises. Use a ruler if you're doing something with bread. Color, texture. Remember, Use your senses to record your data. It could be smell, it could be taste, it could be texture, it could be hardness or softness, it could be how high or small. All those things that we do with our senses, and for most cases, and most of what we're doing, that's going to be where we're writing our results down, and then we need to share our results. You don't have to do a graph. You don't have to have a table. I'm just suggesting it, but you don't have to. But you need to give your results. Sample A worked best. Sample B worked the worst. Sample C was okay. These are the reasons why. This sample A had the right amount of yeast in it at the right temperature. Sample B, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you did in your experiment, this is where you just write it out. You should be able to get away with doing a couple sentences for each. And they don't have to be long sentences. They can be really simple statements. Write a conclusion real quickly. Was my hypothesis right? Was my hypothesis wrong? Normally in science, your hypothesis is wrong most of the time. How much is most of the time, Mr. Soriani? 99 point something % of the time when somebody's doing a scientific experiment, they almost always have it wrong. And so if I get stuff turned in and everybody's got the right hypothesis, all that's telling me is you don't want to be wrong because you think you're going to get a bad grade because of it. That has nothing to do with your grade at all. If your hypothesis is wrong, but you wrote one, you're still going to get your points. Don't think that works that way. What is important is when you get to your conclusion and you say, I got the wrong result, or I had the wrong hypothesis, I got a different result. Then we start thinking, okay, do we have any understanding why? What did we learn? Okay, so in your conclusion, and we're not going to be doing an oral presentation or a big display board. You can, in a short video, hold up your experiment and explain it to me, that's fine. But your conclusion is basically telling the person that's reading it what we learned, where we right, where we wrong, and what do we learn from it. That's the important thing, is understanding that, okay? If you guys have any questions, fire away. I will say that this morning, Google Classroom had disappeared. Mr. Fosnight was working on it while I was live streaming, got everything up and running. There's also a new feature in Google Classroom. Thank you, Dimitri. There's also a new feature in Google Classroom where you can actually do a Google Meet. So there's a button there and a code you have to enter. I would send you a code. And so if you feel like you want a little one-on-one to help you through something, message me and we'll try to get where we're both on at the same time. And, if I don't answer your message till an hour later, or email me, it might be a little difficult. We'll do our best to try to get in front of the computer at the same time. And I think, I can't speak for Mr. Fosnight, but I'm assuming he's probably willing to meet with some of you guys too. And we really, like I said, this is more about the experience. I don't want you guys to focus on the grade. I want you to focus on the learning. This isn't about, I'm doing this to get an A. Yeah, everybody wants to do an A, but get an A. You think about, okay, what can I learn from this experience, from this experiment? If you don't have anything, Dimitri, thanks for saying I don't have any questions. We're going to cut out. I have a lot of stuff I need to get done today, assignments to grade, and I need to figure out whether you guys, if you can, matter of fact, I want one of you guys to do something for me. Thank you. I want you guys to work on something for me. If you can go into Google Classroom and pull up that document that is titled Scientific Method Master Sheet. Even if you don't have anything to write, what I want you to do is type something in there, even if it's "Hi, Mr. Suriani," or "I like turtles." I don't care what it is. Put something in there. Let me know that it's actually working. If not, I need to go back to the drawing board and figure it out. If you're totally knocked out of Google Classroom and haven't been able to get in it, some of you have not. I understand that. You know what? Then you're just going to have to rely on a phone with a video that you can share with me or email to me, pictures, even if it's a piece of paper that you've written your notes on, and you send me several pictures of that in an email. I don't care how it gets to me, and just we'll do whatever we have to do. And if I have to share another doc for those people that can get into Google Docs and stuff, we'll do that. Hope you guys are having a great day. Say goodbye to Harold, and I am out. No bumper music today at the end.